Over the many millennia, a raging battle occurs between two equally opposing forces, raging on in our societies, our communities, and even within our very minds. And we know this battle, and we know it intimately, and we know its source. That's right, it's the battle between certainty and rationality. This is Chris Bahura, and welcome to my channel, Breaking Status Quo. Today I'm going to talk about people and how people fundamentally interact with each other. How they interact to make decisions, how they interact to work together as a group, and how they interact to move things forward. But what does all this have to do with management consulting? What does this have to do with business models or big data? The answer is simple: integration, cultural acceptance, and diversity. To understand the interactions of people, we must understand the battle between certainty and rationality. And the best way to understand this battle is by walking through an example. Let's begin. Here's the Earth, our Earth. It's the place where we keep our stuff. While hoarding our stuff, we take a look up at the sky. We see that big fiery ball of light. We know this light. We know its path. We know it so well that we can predict the path depending upon the time of day and the time of the year. But there's a question, a fundamental question, on how the sun moves across the sky. Does the sun actually go around the Earth? Are we really at the center of the universe? Or does the Earth go around the sun? Are we not the center of the universe, just merely a part of it? Have you asked this question? It's good if you did, because this question has been asked for over 3 millennia. And some are still asking it. So what's your answer? Do you have an answer? Good. Now ask yourself, why did you answer it that way? Can you answer the why? Or are you just saying that this is the right answer? Let's take a look at 2 approaches on predicting where the planets are in the sky. On the left is the astrology charts. On the right is the solar system. The left assumes the Earth is the center. The right assumes the sun is the center. Both models, both approaches, both left and right, can predict where the planets are going to be at any given point in time. Because of these 2 models, these 2 approaches, we can safely say that both answers are correct. The sun goes around the Earth goes around the sun. How does that answer sit with you? Does it turn in your gut? Do you think that I'm an idiot? Do you question my credentials or where I went to school? Do you write me off as being just one of those? If you don't, kudos to you. But if you do, this is what certainty is. There is a right way to see things and a right way to do things. Certainty is undeniable truth. And we all know what truth is, right? It's the right answer. It's true. After all, true is in the word. But there's a problem with truth, because in truth, there are 2 kinds of truth. Where something is true and where something is accepted to be true. It's this accepted to be true that is certainty's trump card. It's what certainty always uses to win the debate, to win the argument. To counter this, rationality uses what is true. True things such as gravity is true, the solar system is true, evolution is true. It doesn't matter if I accept gravity as being true. It doesn't matter if we have a popular vote that gravity exists or not. It doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. Gravity is true. It exists. We're all aware, and we all can observe the law. This is what it means when something is true. Accepted to be true is different from being true. Accepted to be true can include philosophies and principles behind religion, management, and yes, even evolution. Accepted to be true must be accepted, and usually follows the popular vote within a community. It's because of this nature of truth and having 2 kinds of truths that creates the battles between certainty and rationality. Let's look again at these 2 models of predicting planets in the night sky. Why do you think scientists picked the right side and not the left side? Did they pick the right because it's right? Did they vote on it? That's not what they did. From the scientist's viewpoint, both models are correct. Both are useful tools for predicting where the planets are in the sky at any given time. So why? Well, with the solar system idea, the math is a heck of a lot easier. It's easier to predict where the planets are going to be in the night sky. It's easier to predict any heavenly bodies in the night sky, including comets, asteroids, and even how far quasars are. So scientists chose the solar system not because it's right, not because it's correct, but because the model is more useful and coincides much better with the other models required to predict what's going on in the heavenly sky. The solar system is not a better model, just a more useful one. Now let's go back to what your answer was, if the Earth went around the Sun or the Sun went around the Earth. And I asked you, why? Did you feel comfortable saying you didn't know? Let's shift gears and talk about the interactions between people and other people, and how these interactions changed over the last few millennia. To understand these interactions, let's look at the ongoing battle between certainty and rationality. Let's get started. At the dawn of mankind, we developed tools to survive. To increase our chances of survival, we relied on leaders, we relied on certaintists, we relied on their strength. Because we survived, our numbers grew. We developed stories, we developed culture and traditions. Because of our numbers, the certaintists had to change tactics to exert their strength, to exert their influence. From those stories, from those traditions, the certaintists established religion. Then a new tool was developed, a new tool that drove a new idea that we can record. We can pen it, pencil it, or chisel it. We can rely less on memory and more on the written word. It didn't take long for religion to be formalized using the written word. And we didn't stop there. We started formalizing our ideas, our stories, our philosophies. And these philosophies drove the certaintists to change tactics once again, to rely more on debating as a form of influence. The certaintist position influenced religion to engage with the philosophies, to help structure the analysis, to be consistent with the religion's worldview. And then the philosophies grew up, establishing science and mathematics. And these established educators, but also challenged religion, which many found to be very unhealthy. With the advancement of math, a new idea came up, an idea where you can use a tool to help you do math. An abacus, a calculator, and it took many different forms, ranging from things like hourglasses to bowls of water and even sticks and string. With this ability to do faster math, it opens up the doors to a brand new idea, the idea of using a mathematical model, and using this model to predict and forecast. Models such as the solar system and other financial models that management uses. Management is an ancient philosophy. With models, we didn't stop there. With the advancement of philosophies, the advancement of science, further challenges were made to religion. The human evolution model was born. Philosophies widened, sciences widened, knowledge got much deeper and much more diverse. Because of the larger knowledge and the constant debating and challenges of certaintists to this knowledge, the thought leaders were born. Thought leaders, advocates, and activists that represent a unique position in the sciences and philosophies. To counter this, certaintists leveraged religion, philosophy, and even educators to support and only support the certaintists' position, the certaintists' right position. It's gotten much harder to distinguish between the thought leaders and the certaintists. Education advanced with many great ideas, one being the business model. With the overwhelming knowledge, certaintists have become much more positioned, much more focused, and more concerned at winning the battle than what happens after they win the battle. Certaintists became not accountable, no accountability, and this often leads to terrible things, such as poor foreign relations, businesses underperforming, a poor economy, and at sometimes war. While all of this was happening, a new idea developed. The idea to automate abacuses and calculators. The idea of the computer. Because of the advancements of computers, smartphones, big data, deeper philosophies, deeper sciences, we are on the tipping point to develop a new kind of model. A model that can accurately predict and forecast human performance. The trump card for rationality in its battle with certainty. Winding down, the battle between certainty and rationality is an ancient battle, beginning at least at the time when we pulled ourselves out of the swamp, when we looked up at that big fiery ball of light and how it moved across the sky. We need certainty. It's a part of us. And though a part of us, it leads us to a path where we will angelize our own ideas, angelize our own positions, and demonize, devilize our opponents' positions and credibility, even when we're wrong, especially when we're wrong. What are your thoughts about the sun going around the earth? What's your philosophy on models? Let's continue the conversation in the comments. Thanks for listening.